This is the Reservoir Hill Association General Membership Meeting. It's June 11th, and it's a little bit after 7 p.m. Welcome, everyone. Just as a reminder, our meeting always begins with some board reports. Then we're going to transition into a discussion. We are joined today by a Blank Slate, who will be talking a little bit about some developments at 905 Druid Park Lake Drive. And then we're going to end the meeting with any announcements. So if anybody on the call would like to share anything for the good of the group, we'll do it there. So I'll begin with my report. We're continuing forward with the goal of having a city adopted neighborhood vision plan. And we're currently in the process of trying to create an advisory committee for the process. So if you're joining us for the first time, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing about this goal of ours, we set out about a couple of years ago to figure out how to get a city adopted plan. And why that matters is because it is the way the city allocates funds, opportunities, and development priorities for the city. It is a process that is guided through the Department of Planning. We were the recipient, or we were chosen and selected and working with the Neighborhood Design Center through some grant money that they received through the Department of Housing and Community Development. And that started a process of us thinking through how our visioning plan would work. A visioning plan takes about a year, and it involves the entire community. So the goal is to get everyone, whether they're RHA members or members of other organizations, long-term residents, new residents, renters, homeowners, young, old, folks with families, people living on their own. We want them all to come to the table to kind of vision for the future of our community for the next basically 15 to 20 years. So through that process, we're going to be calling a series of meetings throughout the community to encourage people's input in creating a design that could then be adopted by the city. So what we were informed initially in the process, we were told that our advisory committee would be made up of nonprofit leaders, people that could help basically our plan come to fruition. But after speaking to a few people in the city, including Tariq Bolden, who is our city planner for this district, he actually clarified that for us and let us know that actually our advisory committee is supposed to be made up of leaders, not leaders, actually representatives from every demographic in our community, and that it should be really representative of the people that actually live here. And he advised that it be around 15 people. So we are trying to figure out what the most just, equitable, and reasonable way of getting all those people to the table and selecting those 15 folks that will represent us. And the role of the advisory committee is just making sure that our voices are heard, that we are moving through this process in an equitable way, and that multiple people, every part of the community is represented in the process. So I think the first thing that was advised of us is that we definitely have representatives from every community organization. So we're definitely going to be sending out letters after we discuss this as a board to different representatives from Upper Utah Madison Neighborhood Association, Madison HMRTA, sorry, I have to say Historic Mount Royal Terrace Association, from the folks that are running the historic district over on Mount Royal. So we're just really trying to make sure that everyone who has put in their time and volunteered their time as leaders, whether it's on a block or at a certain location in the community, that their voices could be heard. But then on top of that, we need to also bring in people into the fold who don't identify with any community organization in the community. They might, either they don't feel like they need to join one. Sorry, Ian, I'm just going to mute you really quick. they might not want to join an organization, or maybe they've had bad experiences in the past with community organizations and they don't really want to be a part of that they're also at the table. So that's the difficult part, is trying to figure out how to get folks that aren't organized in organizations, but might have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to bring to the table to the process. And we're just trying to figure out the logistics of making that work. So since this is a little shift in how we were initially understanding what the visioning process actually is, you'll hear some changes probably next month. And just a reminder, next month's general membership meeting is the last one before September, because we take a break in August, and we do not meet during the month of August, so that board members can have a month off in the year. The other point that I want to share with you all is that we have been in conversations with the Community Law Center. Amy Petrosevic is representing currently Residents Against the Tunnels and HMRTA. However, we really think it's important that there be an organization that is providing support to our members who live in between those locations. They live across the entire neighborhood and are receiving letters in the mail from Amtrak about acquisitions. So we are still in talks with Amy. She is going to send us an updated retainer because we are already retaining representation from the NYU Civil Rights Legal Clinic. So that's going to be something that's going to be up for discussion about the board, about the details of that. But I just wanted you to know, if you're receiving a letter in the mail from Amtrak that's informing you of a subterranean, of them obtaining your subterranean rights, your home, we really encourage you not to reach out to Amtrak on your own. If you don't have your own lawyer to speak with you, or to accompany you in those conversations, please do reach out, because we are trying to work with the Community Law Center so that you would have the rights to an attorney to assist you. And then finally, I just want to give a really big shout out to Janae McLean and to the whole entire team that made the Garden Home Tour another success. Also like to publicly thank MCB Real Estate and Healthy Neighborhoods, which were both silver level sponsors and made the event possible, and also allows us to use the funds that were raised as a major fundraiser for the organization. And just as a reminder, the Garden Home Tour funds allows us to pay for all of our operating costs during the year, our standard operating costs. And we made that a priority, I believe, 2 years ago. It became a strategic priority for us to be able to fully fund our operations, because initially steering committee members, advisory committee members, and then what became the board were kind of fronting a lot of those costs. And we wanted to make sure that people could join the board and it would be an equitable board, that you would not need to do that in order to be a board member. So I'm really happy to report that it was a great fundraising success, and I'm sure Janae will share a little bit more about that. So that is all I have, and I will pass it on to Drika if she's present. Drika, are you there? Okay, I'm going to keep it moving. Chet.
Hey everyone. This is not the most recent version. I don't know, Janae, Keandra, are you able to update this? I just added new.
I can, yeah, let me see. Hold on one second. Exit full.
Sorry, y'all. My computer crashed right before the meeting and I had to. Yep.
That's it? Okay.
Yep. Okay, so I split this out on 2 different tabs. I did a year-to-date report for 2024. You'll see here, this is our total income for the year so far, which includes everything. This should include everything for the entire January January to June 11th. Current bank balance is $10,616.77. That does not include cash from the garden and home tour, which needs to be deposited. You'll see in the event income, we had online ticket sales of a little over $2,700. We had vendor fees of a little over $300. This is after the fees that PayPal and Cash App remove from the transactions. We also had $375 in cash ticket sales and raffle tickets. So the total for ticket sales was $3,090.81, plus the vendor fees of $311.10. So I'm still waiting on, we're still doing some cleanup of the finance expenses and waiting on some contributions from different grantors. So those are not included yet. And if you could go to the next slide, please. So this event is expense for garden and home tour is a little skewed because it includes some expenses from January from last year's tour, but I do not have a good figure right now for the for this year's tour expenses, but that will be upcoming in future meetings. And I'm open to any questions if anybody has any questions.
Okay, I was pausing to see if anyone had questions, but it doesn't look like it.
Yep. And if anybody is interested in becoming treasurer or being on the finance committee, let me know. Let us know, let the board know. And that's about it.
Thank you so much, Chet, for all your work in balancing the books. It's no easy task. And I just want to second what Chet just shared. This will be his last year with us. He is stepping down. So, as a reminder for everyone, in November is when we have our annual elections. Every November, I believe it's the 9th, is our annual general in-person meeting that we have at Dorothy I. Height Public Elementary School, obviously right there on Linden. And during that meeting, it's kind of an open meeting where we invite everyone to attend, but we especially encourage our members to attend. And that's basically the time when we elect our new board. And if you are considering or thinking about joining the board, this is a great time to either start being really active in a committee to kind of see how the work is done and kind of get a feel for the work of the during the month, or it's a good time to reach out to that chair and kind of making that clear that you're interested in that, because obviously we have around 5 months before that, so you can ease into the position rather than it being something that feels overwhelming. We're all volunteers, so we understand, we all have full-time jobs and families and all that going on, and it seem like a lot to take on, but that's how we're able to make this organization do what it does. And Chet, we're really sad to see you go, of course, but he's created a lot of amazing systems for us. And I'm sure he'd be happy to walk you through how the bread is buttered in the organization. So I think the only thing that we would love you to do is obviously, regularly attend those general membership meetings so you have a feel for the organization and our mission. Chet, I saw you unmute for a second.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm more than happy to do that. And I'm not going anywhere in the neighborhood or anything. I have new stuff coming up in the fall that's going to take more time for my schedule, and I really am not going to be able to handle the treasurer position. So I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be active in the organization and everything. And if anybody has any questions about the finances, how we do things, please email me at treasurer@reservoirhillassociation.org.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll keep it moving. We are looking for also a historic chair. However, we might have some transitions up coming, but I'm not going to officially announce them yet until we confirm. But if you are interested in chairing the historic committee in the interim, please also let yourself be known, and I'll keep it moving. Janae.
Hi. So, if you'll skip back to so first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone. So our 2024 28th annual Garden and Home Tour was Saturday, June 1 and 2. And we did so many things that I don't want to start naming names, but categories that people that were on the planning and were lending their support day one. We had people that stepped up and were in the clutch contributors. And then we had people that were whatever you need contributors. And it was, just a 100% group effort. So I just wanted to say thank you all the way around. We do have a few things that we need to button up in order to put this one in the books. We still need to collect our yard signs. We still need to announce our raffle. And then we're gonna plan to schedule a debrief this Friday at 6 o'clock. And for those that can't make it, we're gonna find a way, or we're gonna use maybe a form or a survey to collect feedback, because we always want to look back and make sure that we start, stop, continue, start doing things that, will help with the efficiency and the presentation and execution, stop doing those things that may hinder us, and then continue with the good practices that we have collected along the way. So for the event overview, I'm going to share a couple of slides, but please know we are starting to plan for 2025. So don't rest on your laurels. We are going to be moving things forward. So I wanted to thank the sponsors as well. Our silver level sponsors. Thank you so much for your support, both Health and Neighborhoods as well as MCB Realty. They have supported us for 2 years running, MCB Realty. So we really appreciate your support with this event and other things as well. And for the next slide, these are the numbers. So just kind of reviewing everything. So we had 20 plus homes, gardens, and green spaces across Reservoir Hill that participated in our tour. We had our 2 sponsors that I mentioned before. We sold 153 admission tickets, as well as 64 raffle tickets. And then we also had like 20 volunteers that made it all happen, as well as 20 exhibitors and vendors that came through and, we're there to provide a wealth of information, our stakeholders for Reservoir Hill. So I wanted to thank everyone for their hard work. We tried some new things. We, stuck with some things that we knew that were tried and true. And then, we are absolutely open to, making the 2025 tour even better. So for the pictures, absolutely, please, I have to send out a communication on the best way to do that. Sometimes email compresses the images. WhatsApp has been a really great tool to transfer pictures, but I will reach out individually. In the meantime, if you have questions or if you want to have comments, etc., please feel free to reach out to events@reservoirhillassociation.org. And I believe that's my last slide. Maybe. Yep. Well, here's my last slide. The 29th annual 2025 Garden and Home Tour will be Saturday and Sunday, the 7th and the 8th, the first weekend in June. So we're going to book that one as our standing date for hosting the Garden and Home Tour. If you're interested, again, please reach out to events@reservoirhillassociation.org. Thank you all. Turning it back over to you, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you, Janae, and congratulations again, and congratulations to your entire team. That it took a whole team of people to put this together. I'm seeing a lot of y'all on the call, but I won't. I'll keep it moving because I know we need to get to our discussion. Lauren Mohammed, Green Chair Extraordinaire. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I want to say thank you for all the support and volunteers. And the teamwork that went into Saturday and Sunday. It was amazing. It couldn't have been done. They say teamwork makes the dream work. It actually did. People were calling my phone, Lauren, you need a break. I'm around the corner. What do you need? You need to drink your water. And that was very tough. Very tough. And I thank everybody for that. But Saturday, June 8th, Green Team did have a successful dumpster. To my regret, I did neglect the dumpster day kind of because we had the home and garden tour the weekend before. And I was not focused on the dumpster date. It had been set previously, and we generally, I'm told, avoid days in June because of Juneteenth and other community events that happen in June. That won't happen again, but thank you to Keandra for pulling everything together. She guided me toward the email, how to shoot the email out last minute, and thank you to the folks that showed up. You know who you were because you're always there. And I love you, you're beautiful, and if you need anything, because I appreciate the Green Team. Anybody on the call not familiar with the Green Team or the Green Committee can get additional information, email me at green@Reservoir Hill Association. Thanks.
Awesome. And the next dumpster day will be August 3rd. So I'm not sure where that'll be located, but I'm sure we'll find out, but mark your calendars. That's the next one. Okay, Daryl.
Oh, and just one shout out. I'll mark your calendars, but also visit the calendar on our website at reservoirhill.org.
Thank you. Shout out to the community calendar where we try to put any event that's happening in the community on the website. So if there's an event that is not on there that you think that should be, just email us and we'll add it. Daryl, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Right now, marketing is working on the post-tour follow-up plan with a 7-day schedule to thank everyone from Healthy Neighborhoods and MCB Real Estate to all of our participants, our volunteers, our sponsors, our vendors, and then marketing is just playing catch up beyond that with processes that we're supposed to put in place. We are working on that insofar as Zoom meetings and the YouTube channel. Our June calendar is complete, and we're starting on the newsletter now. The next meeting is scheduled for June the 20th, and I'm going to break my neck to get back. I have to be out of town, and hopefully I will be back. If not, we'll have that meeting from wherever I am, because I'm ready to show the process to those individuals that are interested in marketing, and I'm ready to learn from those individuals that are in marketing, in social media, and are more knowledgeable and current than I am. So I look forward to our June meeting and our meetings moving forward, so that we can stand this committee up so that it's strong, so that if someone wishes to chair it, it will be such that you just can take over and then make the changes that you want to make. But you'll have to challenge me for the throne, because I'm going to keep on marketing until someone stands atop the heap and puts the sword through me. So June 20th, see you then. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Okay, oh, beautiful graphics. Is that part of your, I think so.
Oh yeah, there's some graphics. That's it, just 2 pages of graphics.
Cool. Arlen.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few quick items. This past weekend, Wanata had a meeting at Unity Hall, and that was just an overview of the progress that they've made. There's going to be, I think, 2 additional meetings regarding the progress of the proposals that the members of the communities have generated. And then there's going to be a design team that comes in and comes up with quote unquote finalized plan before it is actually a finalized plan. They're going to update that for us as well. So additionally, I received a call from 2414 Callow, the owner. They're looking to put an in-law suite in that property. Property has been rehabbed. He's been reaching out to his neighbors and he's trying to get those documents and the petition together before the next PDC meeting. Druid Park Lake Drive, 905, Alex Aaron, he's on here. He'll speak for himself with blank state. I've been working also with Wanata's transportation sector regarding the intersection at Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue. I've mentioned this a few times. I see a circle there. I don't know if that's going to happen, but when the city put in the subway station there, those roads are totally uncrossable at Penn and North. And I think a lot of the problems that are there are a result of the inefficiency of that intersection. It's just not a great section the way it's set up. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of money, but I'm going to go ahead and work that out with Eric of Wanata and see what we can get done on that. I did hear something from someone regarding Tune-Up City. Some loose information. They're going to reach out to you and Keandra to the general body and to make sure that the community is up to speed on what their plans are with that particular property. Regarding the EV chargers, we had a meeting, I think it was last week, was it, Keandra, or the week before, with Mosaic. And at the time, she had said that the issue was something to do with BGE, but she corrected herself. She said that BGE had given several different locations, but it was a matter of the cost and the availability of those funds for the city to actually implement getting those EVs into the neighborhood. So she's going to follow through with us on that. I received an email, this was last month, and I apologize, but Reed's house at 2416 Druid Hill Avenue. I don't know a whole lot on it, but they were asking for support for their position regarding that particular property. And as soon as I get more information, I'll pass it on as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Arlen. And I just want to remind everyone that the final meeting of that Wanata comprehensive plan, I guess, thinking through is on July 13th. It's on our calendar, but just want to put that on people's radar. That's a Saturday, so you really don't want to miss that one. It's from 10 a.m. to 12. And you are so right. The folks at Tune-Up City did reach out to me, and I need to add this to the calendar, so it's not on there yet. But they are having a community meeting on this Friday, June 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. And there will be food, and it will be in Tune-Up City, so that they can share a little bit more about their programmatic planning there. So if you're curious about what's happening in Tune-Up City and you want to get more tapped into that, please, mark your calendars for this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. I'll keep it going. Rolando.
Good evening, everyone. We only had 4 incidents in our neighborhood, 2 of aggravated assault and 2 larceny from auto. The Western District actually recover 12 weapons off the street, 10 semi-automatic weapon, and 2 long gun. Fortune also 2 of the semi-automatic weapon was with long high capacity magazine. So they are trying their best to recover all these illegal weapons off the street. Also, the meeting that they was planning for June 18 actually was canceled. They would not have it. And next meeting would be July 16th. There's not much going on in our neighborhood so far. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Rolando. And when is the next safety committee meeting?
That would be this Monday coming.
This Monday. Someone approached me while we were doing the cleanup and was saying how there are a lot of crimes happening in the community that aren't being reported to the police. And so there's nothing really we can do about that if there's data outside of what's recorded by the police, because it's not being reported. But it would be helpful to know if people feel comfortable sharing that with Rolando, if you've had experiences with you know, burglary, robbery, being held up, but you did not call the police. But it is something that's going on in the neighborhood that we should be aware of. It'd be really helpful, because, you know, a lot of us only are aware of what happens on our own block or where we travel or where we go. So if you're feeling as if there's an uptick in something happening and you're not reporting it to the police, that's something that it would be helpful to know. It's obviously extremely more helpful if you do report it if you're a victim of a crime. However, it's just very helpful if you do share that with us if you have some concerns in your part of the neighborhood. And I'll keep going. Okay. Oh, sorry. I know, Jerika, you joined the call late. Did you want to share anything before we transition to our discussion? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. So I'm going to keep going. Welcome. Alex Aaron is here with us to share some information about 905 Druid Park Lake Drive. Alex, did you need to share anything? Did you need like screen access?
Not,
No?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm
we
going to
should be
stop my
good.
share so we can just talk to you, and you can take it from here.
Thank you. And good evening, everyone. Madam President Arlen, thank you so much for including me on the agenda this evening. Truly appreciate it. It's nice to see some familiar faces and names and also some new folks. So again, I'm Alex Aaron with Blank Slate Development. We are a local development and construction firm specializing in restoring a lot of vacant and historic property, mainly in East and West Baltimore. More recently, we completed the restoration of 2201 Brookfield Avenue at the corner of Brookfield and Reservoir Street, the Carlton. And I do have pictures of that. If anyone's curious, at the end of the conversation, I can share some images if anybody has not been in the building and is curious to see, you know, the look and feel and design of that property and what will potentially carry over for 905 Druid Park Lake Drive. But this evening, I'm coming to you today, again, just to reintroduce myself and provide an update for 905 Park Lake Drive. That building is currently vacant. There is a private owner who acquired the property via auction. And it's just très bizarre. As we were doing Brookfield Avenue, I somehow connected with her and, you know, just had a discussion on, you know, what was going on, what challenges she was facing. Our firm actually reached out just to lend a hand and see if there's any way we can help her in moving that project forward, as I know it has been an eyesore. And long story short, she asked us if we'd be open to a joint venture agreement, which we accepted. So we are now partnering with her to finish that project. You know, it's like deja vu, just like Brookfield, you know, she went through the ringer, I think, with 3 contractors, a lot of folks not pulling permits, not talking to community, certainly not following the CHAP guidelines, and she just got stuck. So we were able to step in and assist her. Some background on the building: it is 3 stories above grade with a basement. The total square footage, including the basement, is roughly 11,000 square feet. Its current footprint and floor plate is 8 dwelling units. There are 6 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom units and 2 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom units. Again, that is existing. On average, the apartments are roughly 1,000 square feet. So similar to the Carlton, you know, they're kind of long shotgun style, living room, kitchen, utility room, and then, you know, 2 beds, 2 baths on average. There are an existing 6-car garage in the rear of the property that will also be restored. So there'll be parking. Currently, there are no variances or zoning requests needed. We are stepping in and helping her essentially take it across the finish line and renovating it as is. We're not asking the city for any amendments. The pencils as is. We did go to CHAP towards the end of last year and received CHAP approval as of January 2024. We're currently still putting the financing package together, and the goal is to start construction in Q1 of 2025, and the project should last 6 to 9 months, depending on inspections and utility connections that are out of our control. What else can I tell you? Yeah, so again, we're working within the existing footprint. Unfortunately, there's not as much community space or amenity space. However, like the Carlton, and as I know, no one likes trash on the exterior, there is a maintenance and trash room in the basement. If you've noticed at the Carlton, you've not probably seen trash outside. We have a room, and our private trash company has a key fob access. They come and they take the trash out, put it in the truck, and immediately they put the trash cans back in. This alleviates, you know, like a Wednesday night take out to the street, Thursday pickup. So I want to implement the same structure at 905, where hopefully we don't have to be having dumpsters and or trash bins on the exterior. But similar level of grade, it will be market rate housing. There's washer and dryers in each unit. There'll be central air, and it's a full gut. So I'm happy, Keandra, if you want me to share my screen, I can share pictures of the Carlton. And happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
Yeah, I'm happy to share, give you the privileges to share the screen. I just really quick, I just want to show people what building we're referring to, if you don't mind. So
Sure.
I'm sure people have seen it. It's right next to the Chateau on Druid Park Lake Drive. And it's one of those remaining what used to be you know, mansions lining the drive there. I don't know the history of the building or who, you know, built it or previously owned it, but that's where it is. Just so everyone understands what building we're talking about. That's right. That's the building, right, Alex? Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna stop, and then now I'm gonna give you I'm gonna make you the co-host so you can have your rights. And I see a question in chat from Zion. Will any of the units be reserved for affordable housing, or are they all market rate?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we specialize in market rate housing. We're not an affordable developer. There are lots of LIHTC and or affordable developers in Baltimore. It's just not something we specialize in or, you know, have the know-how. So this apartment will be a market rate building. Again, it's only 8 units. It's a smaller building. But yeah, and as far as rent pricing, we typically don't set rent pricing until towards completion because we go off market. So we don't magically make up numbers. We go and do a market analysis and see what the rents are. I can tell you for the Carlton, for example, a lot of people are expecting us to come to market at, you know, 2,000, 2,200, 2,300 because that was kind of in line with market of a similar product. But we're on average about $1,700 at the Carlton. And again, those are larger, you know, 2s, 1,100 square feet on average. So rents pricing will be to be determined, but they will be market and based on comps towards completion of project.
And you know, just noting, sorry, I didn't finish what Zion was saying. And sorry if I'm not calling you, because I understand it says Zion's iPhone, but I'm assuming your name is Zion. It says that assuming the market rate will skyrocket and price a lot of folks out after Druid Hill restoration construction.
It'd be great if you unlock the car. It'd be great if you unlock.
Okay. And I think, you know, personally, it's something that RHA is really concerned about, generally. And what we, that's definitely part of the discussion we're trying to have with our vision plan, like the master plan for the community is prioritized to the city that, in my opinion, not only do we just simply want to say or advocate for affordable housing, but to me, what's really important is that we diversify the housing possibilities in the community so people can own at different levels, right? So right now, it's like if you want to own in the community, there are a couple of condos, there are some really successful co-ops. However, the majority of housing opportunity here is like a rental or owning a really large house that, you know, is pretty expensive to maintain and might not be something that you really want to do. Maybe you want to, instead of owning an entire one of these really large homes, maybe, you know, a floor would be more achievable for your family. So those are the kind of conversations that I think we can tackle as an organization. But what we've learned from the developer level, you know, once you've, you know, they've acquired a building and they have a plan for it, their goals might be not the same, right? Because, you know, and you know, Alex, Aaron, and I have had this conversation a lot. You know, they're investing a lot of money into these buildings to turn them around. You know, I don't know how much it costs to turn around the Carlton from the state it was in, but I imagine it was a huge investment on your end. And so at the end of the day, they need to make back their investment and they need to make it make sense for them because this is one building in a portfolio of buildings. Not to say that Alex doesn't care about our community, but you know, it's a business, right? But as a community organization, or you know, as a CDC in other neighborhoods, you can prioritize that as a nonprofit in a different way than necessarily a for-profit developer is going to prioritize it. So I hope you, Zion, I hope you join the conversation around the master plan, because that's how I think we can be strategic and thinking through those types of things. So sorry to dip into your discussion, Alex, but please continue. And oh, I'm sorry, Rolando, you had your hand raised.
Thank you. You stated that you're going to CHOP. In the process of going to CHOP, are you planning to restore the balcony that was original on the property?
Yeah, so the current plans, and thank you for that question. Yes, the current plans and the existing plans call for restoring the balconies that are facing Druid Park Lake Drive.
You also stated that you complete gut rehab. To my knowledge, that property was already gutted and framed. Are you removing the existing design that they had started with, because it was framed before many years ago?
Correct. So we're picking up the baton. There's plans in place, permit in place, and it has been demoed and framed. Some of the framing is not the code. It has to be corrected. They started MEP roughing. I think there's been like 2 break-ins. They've cut wires and all that. So literally it's in the same kind of stage as the Carlton was. You know, when we picked up the Carlton, you know, we were the 5th owners. It had been demoed. It had been framed. We had to make a lot of corrections, but yes, we're not changing the footprint. We're not, you know, adding, we're not subtracting. But yes, 905 Druid Park Lake Drive has already been framed for the most part. There's still framing to be done. And most of the MEPs have to be removed and remediated. But good questions. And Keandra, thank you. And Zion, thank you too for your contribution. You know, just taking a step back, historically, you know, a lot of us know that if you want to convert, let's say, a 3-story row home to a multifamily, you can't go to zoning. That's something you have to work with the community and the council person of that district. And I think that was a good piece of legislation, because historically, a lot of these people or a lot of investors or developers were cutting up these row homes and making them into multifamily and often doing affordable housing. And then they converted a neighborhood that once was potentially majority home ownership into a rental market, limiting the home ownership options. And then we kind of saw a shift where people were buying the vacants and then, renovating them and moving into them as homeowners. So from an affordable perspective, if you look throughout Baltimore, there's a lot more affordable and LIHTC, low-income tax credit properties than there are market rate. And what we've heard is that people want to balance that. So again, affordable units, you'd be surprised the number of affordable units that are out there. And again, it's just something we don't specialize in. We're open to that. We typically also do a set aside some time from a percentage perspective. But yes, there are plenty of affordable developers and we support them. We're just trying to balance that act for people who may want a market rate option and or again, not interested in purchasing or can't afford to purchase. And let me just click on this real quick just to show you. This is the Carlton, just to show you guys some of the pictures. So this is, sorry, I thought I could do a slideshow. I apologize, guys. But this is kind of the level of our finishes and fixtures, just to give you an idea. We try to keep it modern and clean. If there are any historic elements on the interior, we maintain that. The baseboards here, for example, are like 5-inch baseboards versus like builder grade new construction, which are 2 1/4, like smaller. So even if something is not existing, with respect to trim or flooring, we try to maintain that. And then we, of course, try to go with modern kitchens and baths to complement that. And then on the exterior, certainly redoing cornices, windows, historic windows, and trim work. This one at the Carlton, we were able to add this in, which was a residence lounge. Previously, the plans called for all 12 units to be 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We ended up doing 11 2-bedroom, 2-baths, and 1-bedroom, 1-bath for 2 reasons. One, to make it an affordable unit. I believe we have an artist student looking into that unit. But 2, to reduce that unit so that this space could be available. This is a residence lounge with a bathroom and a kitchenette that's open to the residents free of charge, and it flows out to the courtyard. So if people want to host a baby shower or a birthday party or whatever, and they don't want family and friends in their apartment, they have access to this space. We were hoping to achieve something similar at 905, but again, it's further along and there's no real space to kind of add this. Luckily, 905 actually has grass area and yard, a fenced yard. So there is some kind of exterior space that's captured over there, unlike this property. But just wanted to give you guys an idea, for those not familiar with our work, the level of finish we're going to bring to 905. Any other questions for me?
I have to say one of my good college friends moved into your building this weekend, and I really appreciated the fact that not only is the building really lovely and very well maintained, but you've taken out the time to build those planter boxes around the trees. Like, it's really lovely. You've taken consideration of the community. And anyone who's been on these calls know that I gave Alex a super hard time as he was developing the building. We all held him really to task, specifically about trash, making sure that waste was considered, that there was like center spaces for residences. We did want commercial in the basement. That wasn't achievable in that moment. But we're realizing now that one way that we can advocate for those types of things is through our master plan. So when people are looking to purchase or develop buildings in the neighborhood, they know really clearly what we're looking for as a community. But I just wanted to say that I did have the opportunity to go inside the building this weekend, and I noticed the care to the sidewalks. It looks really lovely. It's really transformed that corner. So Rolando.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, we have property management internally. We have groundskeeper and all that. I don't know if you've noticed the other day, there was like weeds and our team is on it. We see weeds, we send them out there. If we see trash, we pick it up. So again, we want to be a good neighbor. You guys made it clear and we appreciate that. When we came to you for that building, you guys gave us the direction and that helps us be a better neighbor and a developer. So we look out for trash. We look out for weeds. We did the greening on the front side. And I think I spoke to Ms. McLean. eventually I would love to even open up that courtyard. If you guys are doing the garden tour and you want to use that space like a cookout afterward, absolutely. So it's meant to be a community space. Of course, a lot of the stuff is for the residents, but certainly Reservoir Hill Association has been phenomenal. And we want to be a good neighbor. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that, Madam President.
Okay.
Arlen?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Keandra had said. Really appreciate you going through the process with us. It set up a standard that we hope to be able to continue. Also, I want to note when you mentioned affordable housing, Senator Hayes just recently had a bill passed and you'll see a lot of construction going on, a lot of vacants, especially in West Baltimore, where the vacant properties will be taxed at 5% of their appraised value now. And so that's going to put a lot of pressure on these people who are just sitting on properties, which is a good thing. So if you're looking in the market for a house, I guarantee you West Baltimore has as much potential as Reservoir Hill had years ago and still has that potential. So that's my take on it.
Thank you, Arlen. Rolando?
I just wanted to correct him on one of his statement. A historical baseball molding is usually over 6 inches or 7.25 inch or 7.5 inches. So your 5 and 5.25 is not historical.
Thank you. Yeah, we tried. So what we do when we do a renovation,
for the new project, you'll be using 7.25. It will look a lot better than the 5.25. Okay.
Yes, I appreciate that. 7.25 is not readily available. So what we do
No,
is
sir.
try to
No,
meet,
sir. No,
try
sir.
to meet
No, sir.
historic.
No, sir. I don't know where you're going, but 7.25 is available.
We appreciate it. Thank you for that comment. Thank you
If
so
you
much.
want to find out where it's available, I'll let you know.
Bye, Ronnie.
Thank you for that. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, so any other questions? Any additional questions, comments for Alex?
And again, just to reiterate timeline, the goal is to complete our finance package through the end of this year and start in Q1 of 2025. I don't have the start date as of today. I'd be glad to come back. I know you guys are off in August, but potentially maybe come back in the September meeting and update you. But the goal is to start construction of 905 in Q1 of 2025, and it's a 6 to 9 month construction schedule. So thank you all. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking out the time to meet with us, even though there wasn't an ask today. I just want to say that out loud to everyone, that it's lovely for a developer to come, even though they are not required to be here, and to share their plans with us. So we know the development that's happening, and it's exciting that at the end of 2025, this building will be developed. That's incredible to imagine that this building that has been vacant for what I imagine is many decades could be occupied by the beginning of 2026, perhaps. You know, that's really exciting. So thank you for that. And thanks for taking out the time to meet with us and share your plans with us. So with that, that's truly all that we had for tonight's meeting. I want to pause, as always, in case there's anyone on the call that wants to share an announcement or any information with the community that you think would be relevant for the good of the group. So I'll pause.
I just have a really quick update from St. Francis Neighborhood Center. I definitely appreciate you all including our weekly events on your community calendar. And with that, I just want to provide an update that the Tuesday senior socials are on hold for the summer, and they'll be returning on September 3rd.
Okay.
And that's just to make way for since we'll have a full house with all the students for the summer program, we run out of space. And then the other update is that ResFest is returning. That's our annual resource fair and music festival, and that will be on Sunday, August 18th in German Park. And if you know anyone who might be interested in vending, whether they're a resource vendor or a for-profit vendor, they can get into contact with us, and we are very eager to have them be included.
Thank you so much, Lily. So just so I have it right, so I can correct it on the calendar, it's paused until September, the senior socials?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Daryl Davis.
Hey everyone. Just to provide an update, I know this is more like an individual matter, but I just wanted everybody to know an Amtrak update on our end. My family owns the property at 2205, which has an adjoining wall with, I believe, is 904 West North Ave, which is the dilapidated Mercy Medical Park that Amtrak is wanting to demolish. We've had conversations with a number of law firms, and we spoke to Amy at the CLC as well. And Amtrak has reached out to us. We just want people to know this. They have wanted to get access to our house and to our basement, but we are not allowing them that access. We are requesting that, that we know all the names and people who are going to be at the meeting they want to have with us concerning the demolition of that building. We requested a number of reports from them, which they say that they are compiling and getting together to give us that information prior to the meeting, because we told them we would not give them access to our house without getting a bunch of information from them. So, Amy has been great in terms of our conversations with her, and her actually picking up the baton to work with us with some of these requests to Amtrak. So just wanted to give everybody that update, because Amtrak is still telling us that they are not going to demolish that building because, again, they don't have the final structural engineering report about what they need to do to reinforce not only our home, but that the whole 2200 block of Utah Place, because our unit was never meant to be a end unit. So I just wanted to give everybody that update about the demolition from our perspective of what Amtrak has communicated to us about the demolition of the dilapidated medical park.
Thank you so much, Daryl. That's super helpful. Thank you so much for using what power you do have to get more information out of Amtrak. That was so smart, and really appreciate it. I know the community will benefit from any additional information that you'll be able to provide to us. And it's really good to hear that Amy has been helpful to you. So we're really hoping to establish that relationship pretty quickly. Okay, so Janae, your hand is up.
Yes. Hi, I wanted to put a plug in for a couple of things. You mentioned a couple of times about the community calendar. Just wanted to reach out to those folks. If you have events that you would like to be on the calendar, please do let us know. As well, provide us feedback. Let us know if it's helpful. Let us know if there's any way that we can make it more beneficial for you. So I just, wanted to send that shout out as far as the calendar. And then also for the 2025 Garden Home Tour, if you are interested in being a host, if you're interested in being on the planning committee, or if you're interested in volunteering, please do send a note to events@reservoirhillassociation.org. We're trying to get a really early start this year or next year, so we can, make it bigger, better, faster, stronger. That is all.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Janae.
Is that it?
Hold on one second, Chloe. I'm going to pass it to Eric.
Hey, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I just want to say a big shout out to Janaea for allowing us to participate in the Home and Garden. I have your sign, so I didn't know we had to give that back, so let me know how I can get that. But I do wanted to kind of piggyback off of kind of the Tune Up City thing that we're having on Friday. We invite everybody out. I'm a part of that, the workshops that happen there as well. But we would definitely want to share the vision of what's going on there and let everybody know what's going on. So that's on Friday at 6. We share the information, and we just asked if everybody could just RSVP so we could just make sure we get a good head count for folks already. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Eric, and thanks for having such a nice, long, detailed conversation about your hopes and dreams for Tune Up City and for the programming there. We had a really lovely conversation rounding out the Garden Home Tour. So I really encourage all of you all to attend if you're curious. They have really big plans, and to repeat, the event is this Friday at 6 to 8 p.m. at Tune Up City. So, show out, show love. And I heard the food is amazing. So, come in with an empty belly. Apparently that's the goal, because you're going to want to fill it there. So thank you, Eric, for joining the meeting and emphasizing the importance of our participation. And George.
Hi, Keandra. It's actually Kathy. Uh, I wanted to let people know that residents against the tunnel met today with, I've got a helicopter going over. We met today with representatives from Senator Van Hollen's office. The helicopter's going away now. But we had a good meeting with Representatives I'm sorry, not Janaea, I'm going to get it wrong. Ilana Jones from Senator Van Hollen's office and 2 other aides. They are gathering information about concerns about the BNP tunnel. And I know Reservoir Hills met with them and also Historic Mount Royal Terrace Association, but I think others as well. They are gathering information so that the senator can have a conversation with Amtrak and try and get some of our concerns addressed. Also, I wanted to let you all know that tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, Amy from the Community Law Center and Angel will be interviewed on WYPR. I believe that someone named Luigi, who I think may be the program manager for Amtrak, will also be interviewed. So you may want to watch that tomorrow, 9:30 WYPR. That's all.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And thanks everyone for joining us on the call. If there are no further announcements, Kathy, in fact, maybe I'll try to add that to the community calendar so people can get all the details for that announcement. So thanks for reminding us of that. If there are no other announcements or things to share with the group, thank you for a very awesome.
Remember?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
There's some questions on the in the chat regarding the Tune-Up City. Yes, I just placed the link in the chat, so I can send it to you all again as well, but I put it in the chat.
Thank you.
It's also on our calendar. It should be visible on our calendar as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, but just to repeat for those who might be driving, people join in all kinds of ways. They might not be able to look at it. It is this Friday at Tune-Up City at 6 p.m. and it's slated to end around 8 p.m. There will be refreshments and neighbors, but also an opportunity to hear with more detail about what the plans at Tune-Up City. Bradford, I saw your hand up for a split second.
Yes, I apologize. I was hiking, but yes, I'm with Tune-Up City as well and with Eric, and I want to stress the importance of we want you guys to come so bad, so you guys can see what the vision is, so we can shake your hands, rub your bellies a little bit, rub some shoulders. And we're trying our very best to get as many people from the community engaged, so you can understand what one of the gentlemen. Sorry, I didn't catch your name, about some of the historic preservation. That's kind of what my background is. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan, and kind of preserved quite a bit. Oh, my wife just came home from work, so hi, say hi, wife. Here's my wife. But we try our very best, but we try to give some free educational classes or very low educational classes where you guys can, or anyone, homeowners, new contractors, anyone that want to get into construction can learn basic trades. If you want to learn how to put together the 5 1/4, 7 1/4, and where we're from, historic is 9 1/2 inches. If you want to learn how to put those things together with basic materials and how to do it in a costly manner, and then understanding what actual construction costs are, because we've come across quite a few people, not only in Reservoir Hill, but in other areas doing construction, that just don't understand what the costs are to keep historic preservation available. And that's why we're seeing so many things happen and then just not doing it the correct way. So we would love to be able to support any way that we possibly can. And we would love to get you guys in the building, and we'll try our very best to feed you and make you smile. And that's it.
That's so exciting. I heard some from Eric, and I'm hearing some from you, but I know we're over, but quickly. It's hilarious because Rolando and we scheme a lot sometimes. And one of our schemes, because Rolando did this amazing course upstate in New York, where he learned some information about restoring wood windows. And we had this vision of potentially hiring that company to come locally so they could teach us, homeowners and people that live in these historic homes, how to keep your original wood windows, because despite popular belief, it's not the best thing to remove them and replace them all the time. Sometimes it's actually the best thing that you can do for your home is to keep them and to restore them in the most affordable way. And we looked at Tune Up City as a possible location for a workshop like that, but we didn't know how to kind of broach that with you. So maybe that's something we can talk about on Friday, or something that you and Rolando can discuss at another time. But it's really exciting to hear that that is also in alignment with your own programmatic vision. So very excited to meet you, re-understand the goals of the of Tune Up City. And truly, if that, is all for tonight. Oh yeah, thanks Melda for sharing that class. It's Limeworks. And Melda, thank you, Melda, throughout the meeting. You've been giving all the information in the chat. So if there is nothing else to add and share for the good of the group, going once, going twice. That's it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for staying late with us. Enjoy this beautiful evening. And we look forward to seeing you again next month. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.